technically the month is over. I actually began filming after I came back from the festival, and I had some ideas. However, it didn't go as planned, and I've been kind of falling into this sort of cycle of feeling guilty because I don't have as much time as I did before to work on the projects and do creative stuff. And because I don't have the time, I don't film enough. And if I don't feel enough, then I don't have anything to show at the end of the month. And so I don't do anything and I just feel more guilty. And it's this continuous cycle of it that I feel is not helpful. And so I want to kind of approach it in a different way, because the whole point of this is to kind of share, to in many ways, yeah, just go through this experience of being a creative person that needs to exist also in the world that we're living, in which you have so many things. I mean, you have work, you have studies, you have personal matters, and all of it does lie in a scale of priorities. And of course, creating my projects, my little things, is the least of my worries. But that doesn't mean that I don't gain a lot from it. That doesn't mean that I don't feel like I'm missing this aspect, because I want to be creative. You know, I have ideas. That's the thing. I often not feel that my biggest issue is that I have way too many ideas, and I need a lot of time to organize them, to make a script, or to at least kind of sort of organize what I want to present, what I want to share, how I want to do it. But all of it requires time, and I barely have time to do the actual thing, let alone project it. And so it's not easy. I have to admit, it's not easy. I have other things that I have to do before I can do that. But instead of falling back into this continuous narrative of not being able to show off as I once did, I think I'm going to begin doing it in a different way. So I'm going to use the let's create aspect in something that is also creative, which is finding your own way to balance things. There is a creativity there because you need to kind of make it for yourself. It needs to work. And, you know, it's a try and error kind of thing. Because, you know, I try some things, they didn't work, I'm going to try again. And it's a constant thing. And I think that's how I want to approach this. So what I'm going to start doing this month of September that is coming, it's to organize my clothes. Already there. I know it sounds like very basic, but I actually have a lot of stuff because I have also been giving quite a lot. And my biggest issue is that I forget that I have things. And whenever I go out, let's say I visit my favorite second-hand shop, I see something that is cool, something that's very nice. And so I go, oh my gosh, I want to have it. It's so unique, so interesting. And then people give me stuff. And I get excited once again because, oh, this is project and this idea and da-da-da-da-da. And I just keep everything. And then I forget I have it. And so it just stays there. And I don't like that. Mainly because as many ideas as I have, and as so many things that I could actually do with these things, the reality is that if they're not doing anything, and if they're not something that sparks my creativity right off the bat, it's important to learn to let go. And for what I do maintain, the things that I do have, I'm gonna try for like the third time in my life to use one of those apps that you kind of take a picture of the things that you have. Is your like online closet, you can call it that. And I'm gonna try it again. I've tried it before, but because I have so much clothes, it is kind of a tedious process to take a picture of everything. You need to have the right lighting, and then you need to, for it to show well, and then you need to put them all, and sometimes, you know, it uploads a little bit funky, so you have to redo it. It also takes time to do that, but it could allow me to organize my things. So what I'm doing is that I'm adding things to that closet. So I'm taking the pictures, but also I'm taking pictures that I'm adding to the folder of projects. So I can take the picture of the item, and I also usually take the picture of the idea that I have at the moment. I do a sketch and I take a picture of it. And by having it on my computer with all of the other folders, it's easier for me to, instead of having to take everything out, which can be kind of a lot of physical work even, I can just go there. I might feel inspired by something. I can check that, and it allows me to maybe, hopefully, be a little bit more organized. We'll see. It's just an idea. I already took out all of my scarves and I can see the pile right there that is looking at me, it's judging me. And yeah, I'm not denying it's not going to be easy. It's hard sometimes to let go of things, especially if you had something that you wanted to do connected with it. But it is for the better good, which is my own mental health and the wanting to do things. And maybe after I have that, I also have a folder, let me take it, where I have a lot of random creative stuff that I am interested in. And I also have here a list of all of the big projects. So I'm not talking about, normal clothes or level ups of normal clothes. I'm talking about actual projects, costumes and things like that. And so having this list, as well as having the version on the computer, on the folders with the pictures of the fabrics, as well as the ideas that I had, my hope is kind of to combine a little bit of both, so I can organize my clothes, but I can also maybe check if something that I already have might work for some of these projects. And then I do have a couple of them that I am particularly interested in dealing with. However, also it all comes back to money. I don't want to spend money in many of these projects, but I know that most of the time, at the end of the day, you do end up having to buy just, one thing or the other. Some of them, I know I'm going to have to buy a couple of stuff. So I'm also trying to, be calm and think before I act. I don't have a time limit as I once did for a festival, considering that I don't know if I'm going to be able to go next year to the festival, nor for Halloween or anything like that, mainly because in this reality that I'm living in right now, clearly that doesn't work. It worked for a little bit for the festival, but at the end I actually caught up a lot of stuff. I actually reduced a lot of things. And so clearly that sort of thing in the reality that I'm living now doesn't really work. If anything, it might give me a little bit more anxiety. And so we're gonna try to work it another way. Again, first without any time limitation of anything. Whenever I can, I'm gonna work on the clothes, of organizing them, of adding to the projects, adding ideas, try to categorize them, put it in the folder. And once I have that, we'll see. We'll see what project calls me out. For example, which project might have a lot of the items already ready. So I just already have everything. I can start working on it. Or who knows? I don't want to create too many expectations in my mind, considering that I haven't found a way to, just balance the actions. So yeah, that's kind of it. I tried to explain everything in one sitting because I thought it was easier. Again, the first video that I made after I came back from the festival, I had another mentality. I had hopes and dreams that, the reality is that I don't think it's working. So let's find another way. Again, there's creativity also in that. So we're going to do that. We'll see how it goes. I do hope your month went well. Even if you didn't do anything, if you rest, that's really important because we as humans deserve to rest. Not everything's about work and having to do things. So I hope you had a fun month. I hope it went well. I hope you're well. And let's go. Let's begin September. Let's change it all up. Let's find our way.